Today is Monday, January 30th. We're talking about protesters taking to the streets all around the country in response to newly released video of a violent arrest. We'll tell you what they're demanding and how police are responding. Also, where Americans are bracing for a week of brutal weather and where winter is getting such a late start, it's making history. Plus, what you might be asked next time you give blood, why top insurance companies will no longer cover certain cars, and which two teams are headed to the Super Bowl. Those stories and more next. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in about 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Lacey Evans, filling in for Erica Mandy today. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. We start today with a story that has horrified people all over the country, from protesters to law enforcement officials to lawmakers from both parties. Police released graphic video of 5 police officers beating a black man. The footage shows the officers, who are also black, getting violent with 29-year-old Tyree Nichols after a traffic stop. Nichols died in the hospital 3 days later. Remember, all 5 officers involved were fired, arrested, and charged with murder. And the police department decided to make the video public for the sake of transparency. Police have said Nichols was pulled over for reckless driving, but the video doesn't show that part. It starts with officers pulling Nichols out of his car and pushing him to the ground as Nichols says, "I didn't do anything." Then officers start giving him conflicting orders. For example, one told him to show his hands, as another told him to hold his arms behind his back, as another told him to lay down, at which point an officer uses a taser on him. After a while, Nichols gets up and runs down the street, but once officers caught up to him, things got more violent. Nichols was punched, kicked, hit with batons, and pepper sprayed as he was being held down or propped up. Toward the end of the video, officers start patting each other on the back and fist bumping each other. Then, nearly 30 minutes into the footage, a medic appears and starts tending to Nichols' injuries. And soon after, an ambulance took him away. So far, there hasn't been any comment from the officers themselves, but their lawyers are asking that people not rush to judgment. Still, the reaction has been pretty strong. Apparently, the officers were part of a specialized team patrolling high-crime areas in Memphis, and soon after the video came out, the Memphis Police Department said it was disbanding that unit. Other police departments all over the country responded too, saying what they saw in that video goes against what they're trained to do. President Biden and former President Trump also condemned the beating, as well as several lawmakers. And people upset about the video protested all around the country, including in Memphis, Washington, D.C., Seattle, Detroit, Atlanta, Los Angeles, and New York City. Protesters were mostly calling for an end to police brutality and all abuses of authority. Even more gatherings and vigils are planned for today. America's top diplomat is in the Middle East as violence is raging between the Israelis and the Palestinians. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is spending the day in Jerusalem to talk with Israel's new administration and call for calm. A series of raids and attacks in the West Bank over the last few days have killed more than 20 people in some of the most intense violence the area has seen outside of a war in years. And in response, Israel's government says it plans to expedite gun licenses for its citizens and reinforce military and police units to arrest more Palestinians. For now, the State Department says it's worried about the cycle of violence and is asking everyone to de-escalate. But of course, this isn't the first flare-up in violence in recent years. Israel has actually been trying to control the West Bank for the last few decades, but Palestinians believe it's their territory. The Biden administration still supports a two-state solution, meaning both Palestinians and Israelis should be able to live there safely and securely. But U.S. officials also say peace talks are not likely anytime soon. It looks like the White House was able to reach some key agreements to keep advanced computer chips out of China. Already, the Biden administration has restricted exports because it says China can use the chips to create advanced military systems, including weapons of mass destruction, among other things. And now, several news outlets like the New York Times and Bloomberg cite sources who say the Netherlands and Japan agreed to join the U.S. That's a big deal, since both the Netherlands and Japan are home to some of the world's most advanced equipment for making chips. And American companies have worried companies from the Netherlands and Japan would just rush in to claim the market in China they were forced to abandon. So high-level talks have been happening for months now. At this point, there's not an official announcement planned, and reports say it could take months for the export restrictions to actually go into effect while the countries hammer out the legal details. Stay tuned. This week is expected to bring rain, snow, and ice to millions of Americans. This time, the biggest threats are in the southern plains, from Texas to Kentucky. It all starts up today and could keep going until Thursday, so officials warn dangerous road conditions and power outages are possible. We should note, even in places that aren't getting the ice and snow, it's extremely cold, like in the plains and Midwest, where in many spots, temperatures are dropping to the double digits below zero. And it's expected to be windy, so it will feel even colder. By the way, it seems New York City is just skipping winter altogether. The city broke the record over the weekend for the longest start to a winter without snow, along with other East Coast cities like Baltimore, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. It's just been a little too warm this year for any snowfall, so people out east are just getting rain. And for now, there's still no snow in the forecast. More news is coming up, but first, here's your regular host, Erica Mandy, before she lost her voice, telling you about today's sponsor, Rothy's.
If you are ready to refresh your 2023 wardrobe, check out Rothy's for chic, sustainable shoes that will make you look and feel great. They have a ton of stylish options, and if trying to live a more sustainable life is on your New Year's resolutions list this year, Rothy's has you covered there too. Each style is knit to shape with their sustainable signature thread made from recycled single-use plastic bottles, over 146 million and counting. Not only does that signature thread make them sustainable, it also makes them soft and flexible. So Rothy's shoes feel and look great right out of the box. That's right, zero break-in period. I'll be honest, comfort is just as important to me as the style when it comes to my shoes. And Rothy's has both. By the way, if you want to make a sustainable swap on handbags, totes, wallets, and more as well, Rothy's has you covered there too. For stylish and comfortable shoes and more, shop Rothy's. Get $20 off your first purchase at rothys.com/newsworthy. That's $20 off your first purchase at rothys.com/newsworthy.
The FDA is hoping to make it a little easier for gay and bisexual men to donate blood. To recap, restrictions started back in the 1980s. Back then, no men who had sex with men were allowed to donate. Federal officials said the rule was all about keeping HIV out of the blood supply. But the American Medical Association called the policy discriminatory and said the rule should really be based on individual risk factors instead of sexual orientation. So, in 2015, officials loosened the rules a little to say gay and bisexual men could donate, but only if they hadn't had sexual contact with anyone in the last year. Now, there's a new proposal. All potential donors will be asked about their recent sexual history, like whether they've been with a man who has sex with men, whether that's someone new, or if they've had more than one partner. And it will be okay for people in monogamous relationships to donate, regardless of gender or sexual orientation. The proposal is expected to become official once the FDA reviews public comments. The hope is this could help with a national blood shortage. If you drive a certain kind of Hyundai or Kia, you might have a hard time getting insurance. Big name insurance companies like State Farm and Progressive say in some states they're no longer offering coverage for Kia and Hyundai models that were made between 2015 and 2019. It's because the Highway Loss Data Institute says they're roughly twice as likely to be stolen as other vehicles of the same age. And apparently, they don't have some of the basic auto theft prevention technology that's included on the newer models. Stealing these vehicles first became a social media trend a couple of years ago. And still, thieves often post videos of their thefts and joyrides online. But even if you have one of the cars that's often targeted, there are things you can do. Hyundai gave free steering wheel locks to some police departments around the country, and it's selling security kits for vehicles. Meanwhile, Kia says it developed new security software that owners can get for free. Tennis superstar Novak Djokovic called it the biggest victory of his life. He won the Australian Open for the 10th time. Overall, it was his 22nd Grand Slam title, which ties the men's tennis world record. Only his rival, Rafael Nadal, also has that many. On the women's side, the Australian Open winner was Aryna Sabalenka. This was her first major title. The NFL season all comes down to this. We now know the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs will face off in the Super Bowl. Both teams won their conference championships yesterday to advance to the big game. Now the bets are already starting to roll in, and the Eagles are considered the favorites to beat the Chiefs. Super Bowl 57 is happening in just less than 2 weeks on Sunday, February 12th. Rihanna will headline the Super Bowl halftime show, and Chris Stapleton will perform the national anthem. You can watch all of it live on Fox. That's it for the main news, so now it's time for Money Monday, where we talk about one interesting money-related news story. But first, here's Erica again with a message from our sponsor, Stitch Fix.
Want to refresh your wardrobe with seasonal pieces that actually feel like you? That's where Stitch Fix comes in. All you do to get started is take a style quiz so Stitch Fix can learn your preferences, like your favorite colors to wear, your preferred fits, and price ranges. From there, Stitch Fix gets to work. Either a stylist will send you 5 pieces chosen just for you, then you can try them on, keep what you like, and return the rest. It's easy, and I find it really fun to see what comes in each fix. Or allow Stitch Fix to build an online store customized to your preferences. I appreciate that Stitch Fix Freestyle allows me to shop one piece at a time when that's all I'm looking for. It's the easy way to get items that are just right for you from brands you know and trust without that endless browsing. I also really like how it visually shows me what else works well with that sweater or those particular jeans, for example. So get started today by filling out your free style quiz at stitchfix.com/newsworthy and take advantage of free shipping and free returns. That's stitchfix.com/newsworthy to try Stitch Fix. stitchfix.com/newsworthy.
Now back to Money Monday. Customer rewards programs don't seem to be quite as rewarding as they used to be. This year, more and more companies are making you spend more money to really take advantage. For example, it now takes more points to get a free entree with the Chipotle app, and starting next month, it will take more stars to get freebies from Starbucks. Same deal with Dunkin', which is also changing its rewards program. The trend goes beyond the food industry, though. Delta Airlines recently changed its SkyMiles loyalty program, raising the thresholds needed to get into the gold, platinum, or diamond status. And starting in March, American Airlines will follow suit, increasing the number of loyalty points needed to earn its entry-level rewards status. Then there's retail. Best Buy customers will soon have to buy things using Best Buy's high-interest credit card to take advantage of the My Best Buy rewards program. So what gives? Well, Chipotle blamed inflation. Other companies didn't give exact reasons, but market research groups say they probably won't suffer too much, that there's usually a bit of backlash in the beginning, but that in the end, brands still keep most of their customers even after dialing back the rewards. All right, thank you for listening today and allowing me to fill in for Erica. We'll be back with much more news to know tomorrow. For now, have a great day.